Emily and I had an arranged marriage set up by our parents. Her father owned several retail stores and a small publishing company, and my parents' company was one of his clients. Apparently, my father provided considerable support in sales channels and publishing expertise. Now, my parents' company is a major sponsor of her father's publishing house. Although it was a marriage of convenience, I fell in love with Emily at first sight when I met her. Our first meeting was like a formal introduction arranged by our parents. They had reserved a high-end traditional Italian restaurant for us. After our parents briefly introduced us, we were left alone. The waiter brought the food. Caprese salad and seafood platter with sparkling wine as an aperitif. Thank you. After that initial exchange, we quietly enjoyed our meal. I felt Emily was too beautiful for me. I wondered how happy I would be if she became my wife. I don't remember much of the meal. I must have been very nervous. We had beefsteak and truffle pasta, followed by an assorted fruit platter as the last course, as the owner informed us. We were then served tea. It tasted incredibly delicious. It tastes very good. Could this be Darjeeling tea? You're well informed. I like tea and often order it. You seem to know a lot. I have a friend who runs a tea shop. Really? What other teas would you recommend? Well, Assam tea is a good choice, Assam. What does it taste like? Of course, it's delicious straight, but it's also tasty with milk or lemon added. She became very animated as we started talking about tea. Oh, I've been talking quite a bit. Not at all. I've learned a lot. I'll try it too. Yes, sure. With that, our first meal together came to an end. After that, I invited her to a tea shop in New York. That place offered not just Indian teas like Darjeeling and Assam, but also Chinese tea. I had learned quite a bit about tea before our next meeting. They even had the Darjeeling and Assam tea she had mentioned before. Emily really liked the tea shop, and from then on, we always stopped there after movies or dates. I proposed to her in this tea shop, keeping in mind her preference for simplicity. It was our 5th date. I was nervous, but she said yes. We got married at the age of missing age. Today is our wedding anniversary. I had been planning a surprise for quite a while. I told her I would be late from work and secretly rented out that specialty shop, even arranging for special teas to be brought in. So when I got home, I planned to take her there. I was finalizing the arrangements with the shop. Your wife will be delighted, I hope. So I left the shop and headed home. As I approached our house, I saw a car parked outside. In it, Emily was with a man I didn't know. He looked quite a bit older than me. Emily was crying. The man gently embraced her. It looked like a scene from a drama series. I was shocked. Emily got out of the car, saw the man off, and returned home. I was too upset to go home right away. I stopped at a nearby coffee shop for a few minutes. I grabbed a coffee and just stared outside, not really tasting it. Who is that man? He must be close to Emily. Why, on our anniversary, she was crying? Maybe she wants to leave me. I felt enveloped by a dark and suffocating fog of confusion and pain. After about 30 minutes, I went home. I was torn but decided to confront her. She denied having an affair. That man is nothing. Trust me, just an acquaintance. Then who is he? I'm sorry, I can't tell you that. What do you mean? I can't accept that she refused to tell me anything about the man. I questioned her repeatedly, but she insisted there was no affair and convinced me to trust her. However, I couldn't shake off the scene that I had witnessed. Then, one day, I found an unfamiliar diary in Emily's vanity drawer. I knew I shouldn't look, but after the recent incident, I thought it might reveal the truth. Knowing it could end our relationship, I still decided to read it. I can't bear it anymore. I want to break up. I want to rush to you right now because in my belly there is a child I have with you. I was shocked by the contents of the diary and dropped it. Just then, Emily returned from shopping. I hurriedly put the diary back where it was. You're home early today. I had lunch with my mother because I had something to discuss with her. Oh, I see. You don't look well. Is something wrong? No, I'm fine. Actually, I have something to tell you. I tensed up thinking she was going to ask for a divorce. What is it? I'm pregnant. I thought so. We've been trying for 5 years. I had given up hope, but now we're finally going to have a child. Is it really mine? What I had read the diary and knew the truth. I accused her harshly. What do you mean by that? Ask yourself. It's that man's child, isn't it? That man was nothing. Then who is he? Explain. I've already told you. I can't say that's not good enough for me. This child is yours. I can't believe it. Get rid of it. If it's someone else's, how can you say that? That's too cruel, she responded, and then left the house. I had always harbored insecurities about our arranged marriage, wondering if Emily truly loved me. These fears were compounded when I witnessed her with another man, and the diary I found in her room spoke of her feelings for another, her desire for a divorce, and her pregnancy. Who could I trust? Was anyone so foolish? Later, still believing she was lying, I demanded compensation for her affair. Not wanting to involve the other man, she agreed to the compensation and asked for a divorce. 10 years have passed since our divorce. I haven't been in contact with her since then. I learned from my parents that her father's publishing company went bankrupt. My parents, angry that I was cheated on and divorced, bringing shame to our family and company, had refused to lend them money. To top it off, her parents also divorced. Was money the only thing holding relationships together? Maybe that was true for mine as well. Meanwhile, I came home to find a letter addressed to me. The sender was a familiar name. It was Emily's mother. What could this be about now, I wondered as I entered my house and sat down in the living room, feeling a bit tense. As I opened it, the handwriting was so similar to Emily's, just like mother and daughter, I thought, recalling the diary and feeling sick. Dear John, are you well? I apologize for reaching out suddenly. I have something important to discuss with you. The contents were beyond my wildest imagination. The man I suspected Emily of having an affair with was, in fact, her mother's lover. Emily's father was the type who thought money could justify his actions, treating women as disposable and his wife like a housemate. Their marriage had been broken even before Emily was born. Her mother had even contemplated suicide. The man her mother loved had been a support, filling her loneliness, and had played with Emily since her birth. They had planned to divorce and be together. There was a secret that Emily's mother kept from her lover, her husband, and even Emily. In truth, Emily was the child of her mother's affair. Emily found the diary her mother thought she had discarded and learned the truth. She couldn't bring herself to tell her mother. Emily always believed that one day she would live with her real father. However, her biological father had massive debts from being swindled. Emily's mother knew the debts would burden her daughter. It could affect Emily's future, like her education. By enduring her current marriage, she could provide happiness for Emily. Her mother chose financial stability over her lover for her daughter's sake, but her sacrifice was apparent to young Emily. She couldn't bear the reality of her parents' loveless marriage. Knowing the truth, Emily began to despise her father during her teenage years and acted out in rebellion. Despite her wealthy father, she started working in a nightclub, inadvertently reuniting with her biological father, who worked there as the club owner. Without telling her mother, Emily offered to help her biological father repay his debts, hoping her parents could be together again someday. The man refused her help and tried to persuade her to quit the nightclub job. Meanwhile, Emily's mother found out about her job and made her quit, but she continued to keep in touch with her biological father, hoping he could rescue her mother. They met occasionally, even after she got married, seeking advice from him as a father figure. When she was suspected of having an affair, she couldn't reveal the truth about her biological father, especially since her mother had once contemplated suicide. She hoped I would understand why she had to keep it a secret. I never believed Emily could have an affair. After all, she was truly happy when she found out she was pregnant with John's child. But she admitted to the affair, and she won't tell me anything about the other man. John was furious, especially with his business to think about, and even told her to abort the baby. Emily left home to have the child. As a mother, I was worried about her health and the baby, so I secretly supported her financially for living expenses and childbirth costs. My husband is very strict about money, but I think he knew I was helping our daughter. I believe he cared about his daughter and grandchild in his own way. Emily managed to get by with the bare minimum, but then she suddenly fell ill. When I rushed to the hospital, I was told she had breast cancer and didn't have long to live. And then her former lover, the one she had an affair with, appeared. I was shocked. I asked him why he was there. He told me everything, how he met Emily again after breaking up with me and had been seeing her. I confronted Emily and everything came together. The reason for her divorce from John, it was all because of me. The letter contained all the facts of the past and was filled with apologies from Emily's mother. I was overwhelmed and my mind went blank. Emily hadn't had an affair. The child was mine. Why couldn't I believe her? She has cancer, a prognosis of limited time. The letter expressed her wish for me to see her. I didn't know how I could face her, but I knew I'd regret it if I didn't go. I decided to go. Waiting at the hospital reception, Emily's mother came to greet me. John, it's been a long time. Thank you for coming today, and I'm truly sorry for everything that's happened because of me. Thank you for the letter. I understand everything now and regret how I treated Emily. I wish I had trusted her more. She led me to the room, and I entered alone. Emily was asleep from the anesthesia. I sat down beside her bed. She looked so frail. Her appearance drastically changed from before, with her hair thin due to the treatment. I couldn't hold back my tears. I wanted to punish myself for how much I had hurt her with my words and actions. Emily, I'm sorry, John. Emily, are you awake? Why are you here? Your mom told me everything. I see. She made a pained expression. Don't strain yourself to talk. I'm fine, really. I'm still strong, she replied with a smile. I couldn't hold back my tears again. John, Emily, I heard everything from your mom. It was all a misunderstanding. I'm truly sorry, Emily. I was the worst for not believing in you. You're not to blame, it was me. I should have talked to you, but I didn't know how to do it. I wanted to protect both my mother and my real father. If I had told you, you probably would have helped with my father's debt repayment, but I didn't want to involve you. And if our situation came to light, leading to my mother's divorce, it might have revealed the affair and we could have been sued for compensation. I thought you would believe me, but when you doubted the child, I was shocked. I always thought you married me because our parents arranged it and you had no other choice. So when you doubted me, I just thought, of course, you never loved me. That's a misunderstanding. I did love you. I'm glad to hear that. It's the first time I've really understood your feelings. Me too. It might be too late, but we both let our anxieties get the better of us, it seems, so she said with coughs. Are you okay? Sorry, but could you give me just a spoonful of that tea? Okay, sure. I poured some tea from a pot into a paper cup and brought it to her lips with a spoon. It's good. Do you want more? Just one more spoonful. I can't drink too much because of the inflammation it might cause bleeding. Hearing the word bleeding, I was at a loss for words. I gave her another spoonful. The first time we met, we were sipping tea together, and now her last moments were with just a sip of tea. Then a young girl, about elementary school age, entered the room. Mom, are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. That's good. Who's this man? I froze at the appearance of my daughter. Listen carefully, Lucy. This is your father, my father. But I thought he was dead. Sorry, Lucy. I've been lying to you all this time so you wouldn't feel sad. It was wrong of me. Lying is bad, right? Yes, lying is bad. But he came to see his father. Yes, Lucy, I'm sorry for not being there. Your mother did nothing wrong. It was all my fault. Please don't blame her, okay? Grandma said if you and Mom make up, we can all live together. Emily and I teared up at Lucy's words. Lucy, your mom will get better. Let's help her together. Would you like to live with me? Are you sure? Of course. She's my daughter. I want to make up for lost time. Thank you. That gives me peace of mind. Don't be too relieved. Worry about getting better and coming back soon. Yes, and Emily smiled, then drifted back to sleep. A few days later, Emily passed away. I began to live with my daughter, Lucy, filling the gap of 10 years. Emily's mother and her real father finally got married. The debt was paid off with persuasion from my parents. I wanted to fulfill the future Emily had wished for. I took Lucy to the tea shop full of our memories. The owner remembered me and mourned with us. Looking at the menu, I asked Lucy what to drink. She chose Assam tea, just like mother and daughter. What do you mean, Dad? Nothing. It's just we sipped our tea, and I remembered the last pot of tea Emily had. How I wished I could have given her a hot and fresh favorite tea in her last moments. I quietly sniffled, trying to hide my tears from my daughter.